Hi, Leopard third grade artists. After our study of pop art, I hope you remember that pop artists sure love to draw, sculpt, and paint food, especially dessert. So we are going to take some inspiration from pop art dessert, primarily the artist Claus Oldenburg, and we are going to draw some wonderful slices of pop art pie. At the end of this project, you will have drawn and painted a slice of pie on a ceramic or fired clay tile. When you get your tile, you're going to draw your pie that you planned. That's what today is for, pie planning. So I'm going to show you how to get your plan going, and I'm going to show you a pretty easy step-by-step way to draw a slice of pie so that if you're learning from home as a virtual artist, or if you're learning right here with me in the art room, you can repeat this video time and time again for your step-by-step instruction of an easy way to draw a slice of pie, but you might have your own way that's better, and that's okay too. If you are learning from home, you're gonna need to create your plan paper. I use a half sheet of computer paper, and I take my tile. These will be available for pickup in the Lantern Road lobby, and I trace it. Then I put my tile away. I certainly don't want it broken, so I slide it back into its bubble wrap sleeping bag and put it away till the next part of the project. Now, because you traced it, you should have a perfect tile-sized square for planning. All of our planning takes place in pencil on our plan paper. That way, if you make a mistake, you can fix it up, and it's excellent practice for when you must draw on your tile. There's no way to transfer or trace your drawing on your plan to your tile. So we gotta practice so that when we draw directly on our tile, it'll be great. To turn the camera takes a couple seconds, and I'm gonna borrow a little bit more of your time to make sure I get it adjusted so you can see what we're doing. I sort of have to look up from underneath when I move my camera, and it takes me a second to bend around to see that you can see what I need you to see. So if you are drawing in the art room, I'm gonna hand you one of these pre-printed plan papers. It'll have the square that's the exact size of the tile already on it, plus a spot for your name. As we begin most things in the art room, you're gonna write your name first. And as far as drawing a piece of pie, you do want to keep things pretty large. I realize it's not a huge tile, but if you keep it relatively large, you'll be able to paint much more easily in the second and third parts of this project. So to begin our pie, start with a nice sized rectangle about in the middle. Don't put it up too high, because you may want to add a scoop of ice cream or a dollop of whipped cream to your pie drawing. Starting with a rectangle is pretty easy. The next two lines are simply diagonal lines, so they are easy too. You need a short diagonal and then a long one. And this is a really basic piece of pie. Doesn't really look like cherry pie or apple pie or peach pie. Looks more like sugar cream, something super solid and thick, almost like cheesecake. The next thing we're gonna add is, to the short diagonal we just drew a minute ago, a lumpy line so it looks like our pie crust. However, we still need the actual crust. So I'm gonna make a skinny rectangle right here using this line, and adding this straight line. I'm gonna add another straight line that makes a super long, skinny rectangle out of the bottom, and I'm gonna add this teeny weeny line right here. So you can see, at least I hope you can, it was a little too close, my pie crust from the side and the piece of pie crust on the bottom. Now it's really time to get our pie on a piece of, this is too many letter P's. Mrs. Billman is so tongue-tied. It's time to get our piece of pie on a plate so that it's not just floating in midair or looks like it's sitting alone somewhere. In the middle of this part of the pie, I'm gonna make a little line And in the middle of this part, I'm gonna make a little line. My plate is gonna be bigger than the tile, and that's okay. There we go. I'm gonna decorate the edge of my plate. It's gonna have some little polka dots and curlicues. Yours can be decorated however you like. You can put checks, like a checkerboard. You can put flowers. Some plates have flowers along the edge. It's up to you. It's your plate. So, now what type of pie? Well, there's a couple different types of pie, maybe a couple hundred different types of pie. If you're making a cherry pie, I advise making them nice and big. It'll make them easier to paint. And you definitely want your pie to have distance evident. That means I should be able to tell that some of these cherries are behind others. It's not a great distance. It's not 4 miles of cherry pie, but I can tell that some of these are up close and some are deep inside the slice. You can make that pie crust on the top decorative. You can make sauce dripping from the top over the sides. You can make a scoop of ice cream on top of your pie. You can make apple slices. You can make blueberries. You can leave it solid if it's supposed to be sugar cream or maybe chocolate cream pie. You could put a strawberry on the top if it's a slice of cheesecake. It might change the way your crust looks a little bit, but you might have to do some erasing. Let's say I want a nice blob of whipped cream on my pie. Well, this whipped cream looks see-through, so I want to erase that piece of pie crust right there so that my whipped cream doesn't look see-through like a window. Now it looks a little bit more like a dollop of whipped cream. So of course, take your time. Of course, erase and replace a bad line with a better one and get this the way you really like it. Then you'll be prepared and your hand will have practiced for redrawing your pie on your tile in the next lesson. Good luck, leopard artists.